just focus on finding Snake for now, okay? Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later. Junpei nodded. Alright, where should we go next? First, let's get on the hallway. I guess back to the large hospital room. I want to try out the hall with all the rooms. Let's got back downstairs and check out the hall with all the doors. They took off at a run down the stairs. There was no sign of anyone. Snake, of course, was nowhere to be found. We'd have to look somewhere else. But where? Alright, back to the large hospital room. Why don't we go back to the big hospital room? Okay, let's go then. They turned and headed back towards the large hospital room. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Talk to him or at least solve much, but... Alright, screw it, he might have something good. Junpei and June walked up to Santa. What are you doing? What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red. Why, is there something bothering you? What? It's not bothering you? Huh? This. Guts of the red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here? Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but who do you think did it? Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head. I don't know. Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us? Snake, Lotus Zero. Lotus was the first back, wasn't she? And she seems to be kind of a bitch. And she needed us to get through, that's why she couldn't go through. Zero... I don't think he'd risk wandering around this place if there's all these locked doors and stuff. Snake... He's gone missing. So one of them. Ooh... I'm gonna have to say Lotus. You think maybe it was Lotus? They say first person at the scene is the most suspicious. Yeah, that's possible. You don't have anything else to suggest. She did it though. You might as well just suspect everybody. Well, you don't know either. Junpei furrowed his brow. So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red. Santa grinned. Bingo. We have a winner. But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know. They fixed the red. Yeah. But why? No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad. Something bad? Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course. It could have something to do with Snake's disappearance. You think maybe they did something to Snake? It's not out of the question. Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back. Yeah, I'm looking at you there. With that depressing situation, he turned and quietly walked away. Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? You can see now. This is where Lotus is, the first class cabin, hallway with all the rooms. We'll go see Clover one more time. Why don't we go check out the first class cabin? Alright, let's go. They quickened their pace and headed for B deck. No one was there. Junpei figured they might have more luck somewhere else. But where? Alright, I guess finish searching, maybe? Let's head back to the large hospital room. Alright, that's probably the best idea. Together they ran down the stairs. There was no one to be seen. What next? Finish searching. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Maybe he's dead? Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke. We can't keep looking for Snake. Wherever he is, he's not here. We need to get moving. Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke. We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door. Yes, I have a proposal. She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped. Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice? Oh, it's getting dark now. Sacrifice? Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into two teams, four and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into two teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people would be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind. Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. I'm not sure. Can we take all of them? Junpei wasn't quite sure what was true. Wait a minute. Huh? 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2. 1 person left behind if we split into 3 and 3 and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind? Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over? That would be 3, 7, 8. What's the different root for that? 3, 7, 8 is 18, so 1 and 8. And 8 is 9. Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is, the 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate that if you have time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now if we can get back to my proposal. We only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3 and 1. When Seven spoke, his voice was strained. Then, you're saying we've got to decide who's going to stay behind? Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves. No, that's too cruel. What's so cruel about it? To just sacrifice someone like that? Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1? That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone. I told you that's impossible. Wake up. Whoa, whoa, calm down, you two. Santa stepped between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right? Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think? No, that's terrible. I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa? Me? Well, I agree, I guess. Alright, that's 1 vote. That's 1 vote for. Count mine, that's 2. 7? I can't say I agree with you, but won't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die. Glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover? Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder. Your brother has to be